Hey everyone, and welcome to another Spodcast. It's that time of the week. In the space of a week, we've had 3 podcasts, which is a record for us. During the week, we had a Loki special, and we are back to our usual Sunday stream talking about some of the latest news in gaming, TV, movies, entertainment, and tech. Quite a tech-heavy week this week, which is great. I absolutely love tech and everything like that. So I'm really excited to be talking about all of these things. And John, usually who joins us, has just had a positive test for COVID. So I've told him to rest up this week. So hopefully he'll be back and feeling better soon. But our guest who would have joined the two of us this week is a previous guest, and we have Josh, otherwise known as Cosvlogs, is back once again. Hey Josh, how's it going?
Hello, it is going well. It is boiling. That is my first point for today. Is that I'm sure, like the rest of the UK, they are absolutely sweltering, and I know I am.
It's nearly as hot as the news we have this week. And that is
Exactly.
pretty damn hot. I'm not going to lie. Having the PC on, I've got the blinds closed and a light from the web camera on me as
Oh,
well. It's a hot one, but I'm sure
yeah.
we will survive. And if not, well, at least you just can watch us melt away like the Witch and the Wizard of Oz. Yeah. But
To
I
be
know
fair, I wouldn't mind some
how's
water.
yeah, but how's the things been? What we've been up to since you were last on this podcast? Anything exciting, or just streaming on your Twitch channel, everything like that?
So for me, it's mainly just been streaming, focusing on my acting work. I've been getting heavily involved in the Minecraft community. I'm recently joined a server that is inspired by Avatar: The Last Airbender, where they've coded it that you can actually earthbend, waterbend, airbend, firebend, however it is that you choose. And it's actually really, really interesting to play as, to be fair.
Sounds like a lot more bending than a usual yoga class, but yeah, that's right. The jokes are just as bad as always. Let's get into it straight away because I'm really excited to talk about these products. I use a lot of these companies' products. My desk is covered with them. By the way, I'm just going to clear. I am not sponsored or partnered with them or anything like that. I just genuinely love Elgato and their products. They just always seem to bring out quality. And this week they released a few different products. But right now, my desk, I currently have a key light right here. I have the Wave Link 3. I have a Stream Deck, gotta be very careful, Stream Deck, and I have the HD 60 capture card. I'm just surrounded by Elgato stuff. What, Josh? I know you've got the Wavelink 1, is that right?
Yeah, so I've got the Wavelink One. I have a Stream Deck myself, and I did have the HD60S capture card, mainly used for when I was console streaming. But since upgrading to a PC, I no longer have that need for a capture card anymore.
If you want to post it through my letterbox, feel free. I never say no to Elgato stuff. But
To be fair, I've already sold it, so it
oh,
was gathering dust. It's now probably going to gather dust in someone else's bedroom drawer now. So
and I thought
we'll
we
see.
were friends. But no, obviously streamers absolutely love their products. The quality is brilliant. Like the Wavelink has an audio mixer that is software, which is how I've swapped from music, the chat with just like the push of a button, especially using the Stream Deck. But this week, I think they've released something which is just absolutely amazing, and that is Elgato's Facecam, which the best way of describing it, it's better than a webcam, but just a little bit less powerful than a DSLR, like a camera that a lot of streamers use for the quality. But I've got to be honest, from the videos I've seen, and I was talking to one of my friends at Nerd Council, go check them out, they're cool. They were actually doing, during the video presentation, they were actually streaming from the face cam, so they actually have all the face cams already. And you could not tell the difference between a DSLR and a normal, like the face cam that they were using. The quality is there, and what makes it different to other web cameras is you can control the ISO, you can control the filters, you literally control it like the DSLR. What were your thoughts on the Facecam, Josh?
Well, I think it's interesting to think about, because if you consider that for someone like me who does do a lot of streaming, and yourself, and again, the large community of streamers, their go-to webcam is a Logitech C920, which is what I currently own. Now, that was released back in 2012, I believe. So we have had about sort of 9 years without a decent new upgrade of a webcam. So for Elgato to now come through with a new face cam, which they've been asking, the community have been asking for a top high-end new webcam for years now. And I think that Elgato has absolutely blown it out the park, especially, as you say, the quality is that close to a DSLR. And a lot of people before the face cam were sort of buying sort of cheap secondhand GoPros, or even just cheap secondhand DSLRs and a cam link, which is probably just over, if not on par, with how much the Facecam is. But I think for a lot of starting streamers and a lot of smaller streamers who might not be raking in the sort of hundreds to £500 worth of revenue each month through Twitch, YouTube, whatever it is that they stream through, this is going to be a good sort of budget option for them if they want to start out or they want to improve the gear that they already own.
Totally. It's like, for me, this is all hobby and everything like that I do, which is what streamers do. We have obviously professional ones, but like I have a DSLR and I had it above my like screens and everything like that, but I just found it so big and cumbersome. Like I have a GH4, which is like an amazing camera for doing video. I used to do a lot of cosplay videos, the Comic Cons, using this camera, and it was great quality. But I broke the output on it, so I couldn't use the cam link. So if I wanted to do a video, I'd have to record the DSLR, transfer it into the computer, edit it. Whereas I got the Logitech C922, I think it is. So I got the kind of slightly upgraded one, which is a 1080p, which is what I'm using right now. But it didn't have the filtered effects that lots of people like to have, like with the DSLRs. Whereas I'm using the NVIDIA Broadcaster, which I totally recommend if you want to have this blurred effect. So it looks like it's a DSLR, but it's a web camera. Whereas now they've released this kind of, I wouldn't even say it's middle, it's closer to the price of a web camera, because the most Logitechs are about 80, £90. This Facecam is about £200, but if you wanted a decent DSLR via size, say for example the Sony ones, they are about £600, £700, and you're paying £200, which I know to a lot of people that's a lot for a webcam. But if you're passionate about streaming and looking good on camera, I think this is a perfect range camera, and I'd love to get one. It's just not my budget right now. But I think it's amazing.
Yeah, I think another thing to bear in mind as well is for a lot of people that were looking at the cam link, is it's also compatibility, because some people also owned a DSLR or owned, for me, before I got rid of it, I had a bridge camera. I had the Canon, oh days, it was like the little flip screen little bridge camera. It was a tiny little thing, but it wasn't compatible with a cam link. So there's no point me purchasing a cam link to use my bridge camera. And I didn't want to, as you say, spend sort of upwards of 700 to nearly £1,000 on a DSLR, which at the time would only be used for streaming rather than content creation. And so I've been sort of, at the current moment, for lack of a better word, stuck with my C920 and not being able to make it portable. But I don't use my sort of streaming gear outside or any other location other than where I currently am, which is what a lot of streamers do have. And if it is that, as you say, they do go and do in real life streams, out and about streams, whatever it is, they'll normally use their phones, because a phone camera gives better quality now than a C920 would.
Yeah, and I know that Elgato bought, I want to say, Epocam, where basically you can stream from your phone to the computer via wireless and Bluetooth, which was great. And I think they've done that to use that software, because personally, I think moving forward, Elgato are going to release a wireless version of that camera. If they make a wireless version of that camera, they are just going to blow the market away, because then you have that whole movability. Not that I'm saying this camera isn't easy to move around. It is literally like a little block like this. I was talking to my friend about it, and they absolutely adore it. And
I
I'm
think it's also
tempted
to bear in
save up for
mind.
one. Go on.
Yeah, I think it's also to bear in mind as well. If Elgato do a wireless version of that, I think that they would be one of the first companies to do so. I can't think of any other companies that would make a wireless webcam. If there are, then I'd have to look it up. But it would be really incredible to, as you say, have that sort of maneuverability in. I've got it on my monitor for the time being, but I'm going to go over to the kitchen because I want to make myself some dinner and I want to take you guys with me. So I'll just unplug it, but it's still connected through maybe the Spodcast software. And then it's like, right, we're going to go on down to the kitchen and I'm going to make my dinner or whatever. And the stream is still going, still interacting with everyone, rather than how I've done it a few times when I've had to go and get dinner. It then becomes what a load of people know as a chair stream. They would just have an empty chair and just have to entertain themselves or have their moderators help entertain them. So it's like, okay.
I'm sure all the people in the chat right now would love it if we just walked off and just had the chairs, and the chairs can interact as well, and hide everyone in the chat.
I'll turn my chair to face yours. I'll go out the room, and then we'll have a whole.
I'll just turn the chair around. There you go. We can just have chair.
There we go. There we go. Hold on.
There we go. Exciting stuff for everybody, and the people listening to the podcast is like, what is going on right now? But yeah, Elgato is a company I absolutely love. They did do a few of our announcements as well. One of them is they've announced the second version of the Stream Deck, Stream Deck 2. But this one, which I know a lot of people are excited about, is you can also now do faceplate. So you can actually accessorize your Stream Deck. Now, I don't know if that's going to bother me as much, because yes, it'll look good on your desk, but who's actually going to see it other than you? And I know people like to have like things looking good. See, you could have an amazing rainbow coloured one. I know you're already thinking about it to go for your whole theme and design.
It's there in my head. It's there.
Whereas for me, I like the blacks, and I like I have a Sonic. See, you have a nice rainbow room. I have a Sonic room. The walls are Sonic blue. The RGB is blue. You have my Sonic the Hedgehogs, like literally everywhere.
Yeah.
And a Sonic the Hedgehog Stream Deck would be pretty cool, but my desk is black. You know, it has that theme.
Yeah.
But I think a lot of people would really like that. And I've got to be honest, I've got the normal size Stream Deck. There's a Stream Deck Mini, which I think has 6 buttons. I don't know how anyone can cope with 6 buttons. But I'm half tempted to get the XL at some point, just so that way I'm not jumping between folders and everything like that. But again, it's justifying the cost. Not that it's expensive. It's just, again, for me, I am an on-off streamer because I just do it when I can, because it's a hobby. So justifying spending that much is not there yet. Like, this Stream Deck was actually given to me by a really good friend as well. Tabitha Lyons, thank you. Artifakes, there you go, free plug for you. She had one, she just gives it because she wasn't streaming anymore. I'll probably have to send it back if she ever does, but it's mine now, she can't have it. And I absolutely love it. You know, it's a great fact. And you use it as well, and obviously, how do you find using the Stream Deck with streaming and everything like that? Is it really helpful?
I have, it's such an ease of access for using my Stream Deck. So for me at the minute, most of it is all linked up to do with my streams. So my top row is all to do with the scenes that I have for when I'm streaming, changing between sort of main to be right back. I also have a multi-action button for a lot of them as well. So like my center button is my starting button. So as soon as I press start, it changes the scene on my OBS, starts my stream, and does a going live tweet, all from one push of a button. And so I definitely agree. I looked at the options for what there was available between the Stream Deck Mini to the Stream Deck XL, and I went in the middle mainly for budget and affordability because, as you say, who in their right mind looks at a Stream Deck Mini and thinks of that as their first Stream Deck is beyond me. Because you say it's brilliant that they do enable folders and everything like that, but I do not want to basically have like a Russian nesting doll of a Stream Deck where I'm going into a folder, into another folder, and into another folder just so I can press one button. So I went for the 15 button, but I think with the Stream Deck Mark II also being a 15 button, I think the major upgrade that they gave for it is so that it's not just sort of on a flimsy little stand. It is all integrated into one thing, and I believe it's magnetic to remove the front part. And it also has a removable cable rather than having a streamlined cable, which is USB just plugged straight into the device. So if you do want to do a little bit more traveling, to again, if it is that I move house, it would probably be a lot easier just to unplug it all, pack it all the way rather than unplug, wrap it around, and just have that absolute hassle of that. But I do agree as well with the customization. That is much more an individual preference than it is showing off your gear. My mind was going as soon as you said that you're very Sonic. I was just imagining like a Stream Deck faceplate that was basically like a Sonic ring or something, or a Chaos Emerald or something as a faceplate. But I do agree. I would probably go rainbow. I would probably have it. The exact pride flag that I've got is just a rainbow faceplate, and it opens up the creativity for people who sell on Etsy and like all of those things because it can allow them to. I think Elgato, because they do listen to their community, they might start selling blank faceplates that people can customize and sell on.
Oh, definitely. They'd be missing a trick if they didn't. Like the amount of creative streamers where they can actually design the faceplate live on stream and then sell them on. There's like the opportunities there are amazing.
Definitely.
And yeah, the Stream Deck I absolutely love as well. I think it's great. I'm quite lazy in the fact, well, I'm saying lazy, actually I do the opposite. I did have a button which would tweet out, but what I found is I kept forgetting to update the tweet. So when I'm pushing the button, it's sent, because when you stream on YouTube, the YouTube link changes every single time. So therefore you have to update the tweet. Obviously you're just a Twitch streamer. I don't use Twitch as much because like on YouTube there's 128,000 followers. On Twitch I couldn't make a SpoilerTV one, so I had to make a personal one which has about 200 followers, and I appreciate all those 200 people that put up with me on Twitch. I do appreciate you all. But yeah, it's like, so I just prefer to type it out and just do it when it's got the 5-minute countdown because I find that easier. But it is great. I can push the start button and it'll change OBS, and I'm not having to click loads and loads of buttons. It's great like that. Another product that they announced just recently was the Wave XLR. Now, I think personally, this is more for your professional streamers, your partnered streamers, those people where audio is key to them. So what I kind of mean by that is we're both using Waves, which I think are really top quality Elgato products. But obviously you have different mics which have different quality, and XLR is a great way of picking up audio that maybe you don't get through digital USB. And the XLR is now opened up to them to have access to Wavelink, but using your more professional microphones that can cost hundreds. I think I've got an XLR microphone in my drawer here, and it's great quality, but then I needed a separate audio mixer. I'd need the boost it and everything like that. Whereas now, using the Wavelink, it's all software based, which made life easier for me. But the Wavelink has just got me the quality and the ease for the type of quality streams that I do. But the XLR, the Wave XLR, sorry, is a great new tool. Like, I know Troy Baker, the voice actor, is got lots. He was in the video talking about it, and I absolutely love Troy as well. The nicest guys you could ever meet, if you ever have a chance to meet Troy at Comic-Con, please go speak to him. He's a great guy. I'm sure he's sick of me by now, the amount of times I've interviewed him. But he says he's using it for his voiceover work, his streaming, and everything like that. And I think this is more aimed at professional streamers. What are your thoughts on the Wave XLR, Josh?
So I do agree that I think it is at a much more professional level. I do know a few sort of affiliate streamers that use XLR microphones, and as you say, sort of trying to get the mixer, booster, everything like that. It was certainly when I'd seen it on social media, someone was like, "This is the Go XLR killer," basically, with the Wave XLR. Because especially if you've got someone who's got a Stream Deck and then gets a Wave XLR, they can be linked together to the point where everything is all then controlled at the touch of a button, at the twist of a dial, and you're sorted, kind of thing. It is so quick, it's so easy and so simple that you could literally get a wavelength XLR and the XLR microphone, and you're sorted. You are set for XLR audio. Basically, I don't use XLR myself. I use, like you, with the Wavelength, which is USB powered, because it's that plug and play. I do not have the capabilities to set something up like an XLR. But I think if it was that I was to upgrade myself to an XLR microphone, I think I would go for the Wave XLR rather than for a Go XLR, more just for the fact that I know Elgato products. I use Elgato products, and it's just quick, simple, and easy, and I don't have to do much. I'm a bit of a lazy streamer in that sense.
And there's definitely a market. I'm just looking in the chat there, and I apologise I've seen this person's name right, but Theory Girl, a gal.
Ray.
Yeah,
Ray Theory gal.
is saying that they're doing some voice recording, and it's something that they might actually look into. So there is a market again for people that do voice recording and everything like that.
Yeah.
I just don't think for the way I do streams, it's personally for me. But there's obviously people screaming out who love the Elgato stream wavelength and streaming, but they don't want to get rid of the XLR mics because they are quality. XLR mics are quality. You can't argue that. But it's just maybe not for everybody. But it's a great wavelength. Is amazing. Like there's no hands down about it. It is absolutely amazing. So what they're saying, we've got Blue Frog saying, after moving from Mac to PC, I can't get over how complicated sorting out sound. After a week fighting with Voicemeeter, temptation to get a Wave XLR, just get the software. I use a USB mic. Blue Frog, yeah, you can't go wrong with Elgato. Again, gotta be clear, not sponsored, not partnered, I'm not trying to make money. I'm just talking from someone that is very tech geeky. You know, I'm a huge geek when it comes to tech, and all I've found is just nothing but good things about Elgato products. I love my Wavelength. I had a Blue Yeti, I had an XLR, and I jumped straight because the Wavelength just ticked all the boxes, and when I got it, I found the quality was better than the Yeti as well. And I love the Yeti for podcasting, but the Wavelength just, again, it knocked it out of the park. And Elgato just can't seem to do wrong at the minute, which is great for them because what they've done is they've listened to their community and they've went, is this what you want? How can we improve it? And they're not just bringing out, right, we're going to bring out another Stream Deck next year, Stream Deck 3, Stream Deck 4. We're not going to bring out another Wave 1, Wave 2, Wave 3, Wave 4. They're making the quality at the beginning and then just sticking with it. And obviously there will be updates to the Wave. There will be updates to the Stream Deck. They've just updated the Stream Deck software through acquisitions, because I know they recently bought the icon company. I love the icons and the animated icons. It makes life easier. Epocam, combining your iPhone. I don't use it as much. Maybe when I do unboxings again soon, I'll have my iPhone to help with the unboxings and put that on a stand.
But I am kind of hoping that they'll bring it to Android as well, because that's my only, like, I own an Android, and obviously at the minute it is only iPhones that can use that. So that I do feel it is restricting a lot of users. Because I personally do find the camera quality compared to an iPhone to an Android is vastly different. Like I have a Samsung S25G, and the camera on that knocks it out of the park, especially considering now that you can get up to 4K, even to 8K quality through a phone camera. That if that then gets enabled through Epocam and enables me to do near 4K quality, I don't think I will do it because there's a limiter for affiliates and partners on Twitch through what the picture quality and the audio quality will be. But no, definitely something that I do feel is opening so many doors for a lot of people. And definitely like what you're saying with the Wavelength and the Stream Deck, a lot of it doesn't even need a hardware update. Everything can all be updated through the software. Like I'll load up the Stream Deck program or the Wavelength program. It automatically says, there's a new update. Here's what's in the update. All you've got to do is click update now. And I've got an up-to-date like microphone, the same as if someone buys a brand new Wavelength the same day I update it.
Yeah, so we've got Blue Frog saying, I wish they brought out where they get the Wavelength software without getting another mic bundled with the Stream Deck and everything like that. Well, this Wave XLR is one way of doing that, and I love the fact that Elgato was saying, yes, we will make this software available, like, and not just saying only for our microphones. I'm surprised they actually released the XLR to allow people to do that, because it was a great selling way of saying, look, use our Wavelength software instead of buying an audio mixer. And again, they've listened to people saying, look, we love using your products. Is there a way we can do that? And the XLR is kind of doing that. Blue Frog is also saying, I do tech support for screens. I point the hosts towards Epocam to improve the quality. Tempted to point them towards Facecam based on the reviews. Yeah, we've just been saying that the Facecam is just amazing. Absolutely amazing for what it does. That bridge between DSLR and webcam, like I say, it's probably one of the things I want to buy next. The thing I do want to buy next, and we haven't mentioned this yet, is that Elgato brought out a new microphone arm. Now, I have a really rubbish one, and you know when you just first start out, you buy this whole, you get the really cheapy microphone arms, you know, and I got this, and it is just, yeah, it's, I think it's the same one. You know exactly what I'm talking about. You get the cheap microphone arms that when you can, like, it's just an absolute nightmare to use. So my Wavelength, there we go. My Wavelength is literally just sat on my desk here, and it does great being on the desk, but the arms that they had out originally just didn't feel right for me. They felt like they had to be too high and they had to come down. And I wanted something which was smaller that could maybe go underneath my monitors or just come to the side. And again, this is where Elgato have absolutely nailed it. And they've listened to what people have been saying, can you make something smaller? Can you make something specific for the Wave? And again, they've done that. They've released this arm that is absolutely perfect. And I think the next product that I'm probably going to buy is this Wavelength arm. It just makes sense. And I think it's about £85, and I love it. I think it's a great idea. And that's going to be probably my next purchase. Not going to lie. I'm going to save my money. If Elgato do happen to see this, feel free to send me stuff. I'm not going to say no.
Like, no, exactly. No, definitely. I think, again, the mounts that they've brought out, especially with the sort of now sort of specific Wavelength arm, as you say, the multi-mount was a little bit like, it was good because you could do DSLR, you can put a microphone on it, but it doesn't seem, it's not a mic arm.
But you know what's just really funny? I forgot I had Streamlabs set up, and as I've been saying about getting sponsored, it's just popped up saying you can send me a tip. if you're watching, you don't have to do that, all right? I forgot that was already set up on stream. You don't have to send me anything, all right? Ignore that. I don't do this for the money. It's just so funny that appeared
I mean, it's
just as we're talking about it. That was not on purpose, I promise you. Sorry, Josh, go on.
Streamlabs, good job, Streamlabs. No, it's all good. So yeah, so for me, I think between the two, because they did the mic arm and the mic arm low profile. Now, for me, of how I've got it set up, I would probably go for the mic arm because mine goes over my monitor and then comes down. But there are a lot of people that have it the other way, that come under the monitor and point up. Which I'm glad that they've given options of that, because obviously they could have just brought out the one mic arm and that would have been the end of it, and have been like, right, here's how you can set it up if you want to do under the monitor, make it a little bit more sort of streamlined, a little bit more low profile, sort of all meshed together quite nicely, if you want to have that kind of aesthetic. But they were like, no, we're going to bring out the low profile one so you can stick it underneath your monitors, because there are some people that I know that have their monitors so high up that I'm just like, how do you function like tilting your neck up to like look at your monitor? You might as well have a TV. But they'll then have theirs, sort of their arms fed under their monitor, so it's sort of a lot easier for them to just be able to be like, yeah, it's there, it's not in the way, it's not getting in the way. Plus, it's in the fact that it can all be streamlined, is you can feed the wires through the arm itself as well. Now, like what we've just shown with the mic arms that we have, we can't really do that. Our cables just dangle. Our cables just hang there, very sad, very lonely, thinking.
I love that it's a magnetic thing as well. You can literally pull it up and it connects magnetically.
Yeah.
Like, they have thought about this.
I think the only negative thing that I've heard about it is that the magnets aren't that strong. There was someone that was moving the arm, and as he's moving the arm, the magnetic covers are just popping off. So I think if they're gonna try and sort of make this updated a little bit, is just to make the magnets a little bit stronger, not massively stronger, but just enough so that if you're moving everything to get it all fit together, and if you move it the wrong way and then the cover comes off, my floor is not the cleanest, so I feel it might just get lost in the mess on my floor if a magnetic cover comes off.
And I'm like, my cable management isn't too bad, but that again would be a godsend. Even like the key light actually has a wire thing that goes down the back, which is perfect. Blue Frog saying, this is a brilliant question, absolutely love this. What would be your dream Elgato release? And that is an interesting question, because I think the Facecam is perfect for what I was after. I wanted to have a DSLR look camera, and I've got the Logitech, and I wanted the faded background and everything like that, which mine is, if you look, it kind of goes funny. It's the NVIDIA Broadcaster, which is all graphics card powered, which means it takes a strain on the PC doing that. But that was perfect. But now you've got the Facecam, which is going to give me the quality, the controls that I'm not going to get with the Logitech. So for me, I love cameras, I love filming, I love doing videos, and this is something I've always been passionate about. This is how I ended up meeting Josh, through Comic-Con, in doing video. Was it through all the videos I did? I think it was. We ended up meeting through like the filming and stuff like that.
I think our main thing was through Disney. I think our main thing was through the Disney meets, plus our lovely friend Maisie, because she knows everyone. Maisie knows everyone.
She's not lovely. She's a pain in the backside.
Liza Minnelli lies. You know you love her.
Nope, for all intents and purposes, for legal reasons, I cannot stand the girl.
There we go. Okay.
Even though I'm looking forward to seeing her, hopefully at some point soon. But
no, I think it was through that. Yeah, but I do agree. I think that sort of dream release is what we've just seen 3 days ago, which is the Facecam. It's something that we have asked for many, many years. if they were to do something new, something that just came to mind is I would love if, because we've now got the key light, we've got the key light Air, we've just had the light strips. I would love light bulbs. I would love an Elgato light color changing light bulb that I can change through my Stream Deck, because at the minute I've got a light bulb that is color changing, but I can only change it through an Alexa device or my or through the app that they've provided. Now, if Elgato was to release a light bulb that's similar to their light strip because it doesn't flicker in a webcam, because that's a struggle that some streamers have, is there is a bit of a flicker, but also be able to be linked up to Lumia Stream as well, because I know, like Blue Frog says, obviously the Philips Hue bulbs work with Stream Deck, but if Elgato was to bring out a specific light bulb, it's sort of like it all lines everything up together. Having an Elgato light bulb with your Elgato Stream Deck and things like that. And I would use Lumia Stream, which basically is very useful for interaction for your community, because they can change the color of it without you having to do it as well. They have options that they could change it to blue, and it will change to blue without you having to go, oh, right, let me just change it to blue, which is what I've had to do lately with my light bulb, because when someone uses my channel points and they want to change the color of my light, I have to physically either go into the app, or if I've got an Alexa device in my stream room, I can just say, Alexa, change the lights to whatever color it is that they want it changed to. But if it is that we can have an Elgato light bulb that just does that all for me, it would make it so much easier for a lot of streamers, especially if you've got everything all interlinked with key light airs and ring lights and things like that, that it all just changes one color. Fantastic.
See, I think the next thing, and this is my prediction that they're going to bring out, we've got the Stream Deck software. They've just released the camera and the software that goes with controlling the camera. For me, the next step for Elgato is to release, and they've already kind of got this built into the game capture software slightly, which is their own version of OBS and like Streamlabs, where you can control the alerts that appear on screen. So you can push a button and it has animated alerts. You can change your scenes and design your stream, like your scenes and everything like that. I think personally that is the next step for Elgato. They've got the physical equipment now. They've got the mic. They've got the camera. They've got the lighting. They've got the microphones that can plug in. And I think if they get their own version of OBS where you can create alerts, your scene transitions, and you can click a button and it streams and then you control it from your Stream Deck, that would be absolutely amazing. And I would jump straight on board with that. And I'd be shocked if they're not already developing that. Would that be something you'd probably use or look into?
I definitely would. I know Twitch themselves did something similar. We have Twitch Studio, which does the very similar thing. But I would definitely agree that if Elgato turns around and they do something like, I don't know, they might call it like Elgato Studio Space or something. And as you say, it works like OBS, works like Streamlabs, that it is all interlinked. And it would also be very useful because you could definitely have like a panel of all your Elgato products as well. All there built into the software. So you would load up your Elgato's broadcasting software.
And could have a wavelength tab at the top, your screen there, your buttons at the side. That would be amazing. Absolutely amazing.
Definitely. No, definitely. That's something that, I would love to see that. I would actually really love to see Elgato now. They've got all the hardware. They've got the software to back up that hardware. Now let's have a universal software for every streamer to say, right, go to Elgato for everything. And it would blow OBS out the water. It would blow Streamlabs probably out the water as well. Like, Elgato would be the key player for any streamer.
Oh, without a doubt. And I think it has to be the next step. I thought they were actually going to announce it with the camera, as in you have your controls for the camera and then you have a button to start streaming. But maybe they're just doing it in steps. Maybe they're just nowhere near that yet. But I think now they've got the camera out there, it's hard to think where they will move forward. But yeah, I
Yeah.
can't believe we spent nearly 40 minutes talking about Elgato, but it just shows you kind of how passionate we are about the products we are using. You just can't knock them. They haven't released anything that would make me think they've done something wrong here. Not everything's my cup of tea. The RGB, I love RGB, but I've already got that. And yeah, I'm just blown away with Elgato. I think they're absolutely amazing. And if I'm ever buying products, it's Elgato I go to first when it comes to streaming. But what was also announced, moving on from Elgato, but very similar sort of name, is the fact that Steam have announced a Steam Deck. Not a Stream Deck like Elgato, but a Steam Deck. Whoever, I don't know why. Why didn't they call it a Steam Pad? Why even
Steam
call it
Dock.
something? Yeah, Steam Dock. Even like a. I just don't get it. It's too similar to an existing product used for gaming and streaming. But basically, I'm saying finally have, we don't know yet, but we could potentially have the handheld device that people have been screaming for to play PC games. I think it's great. I'm not the biggest of PC gamers. I am basically one of those people. I have a gaming PC, I have a Switch, I have an Xbox, I have a PlayStation 5. I am not someone that says, I am a PlayStation fan. I will only play PlayStation. I'm an Xbox. I play for the games. If a game interests me and it's on a console, to be fair, I'll probably get it on the console first. I find just turn on the console, getting my pad, controller, whatever you want to call them, and playing the game, I find it easier doing it via console because then I can have the console on my big TV downstairs or I can plug it in my monitors upstairs. But if it's only on PC, then I'll play it on PC. I'm not one that says PC is the master race, Xbox is the. Xbox is killing it with Game Pass. Like, they're doing an amazing job. PlayStation is killing it on graphics. Xbox probably isn't up there with graphics at the minute with them, but they're killing it on the amount of games that PlayStation doesn't have. PC kills it on graphics in its Steam library, but it's not as accessible for everybody. But now with the Steam Deck, PC games have just become more accessible by the general public. You may not get the ray tracing, you may not get the graphics, but what you're going to have is the backlog of games. What do you think of this announcement, Josh?
So this was announced pretty much like on par with Elgato's sort of announcements as well. So I completely agree with you in that it was very much like, we've got Stream Deck and now we've got Steam Deck. It's just a bit like that. It's going to trip a load of people up. I do agree, but I'm looking forward to this more so to see what they've offered, because they have their own built-in operating system. But they have said that you can remove the operating system and put a Windows operating system or a Linux operating system, whatever operating system that you currently use, you can put that on a Steam Deck, which I think goes to show how open and willing Steam are to say, hey, we know that we've got our own operating system, but if that doesn't work for you, if you know how to do it, go ahead and do it, kind of thing. Because a lot of things like, again, Nintendo, Xbox, PlayStation, they have their own operating softwares and they go, right, this is what you use. Because if you come away from this, one, you're going to void your warranty, and two, you might wreck your console, kind of thing, which no one really wants to do, and no one really wants to risk that, to be fair. But I like the fact that it's like, yeah, you can play your entire Steam library. I think
That is a
what it
huge
is for
selling point.
them,
The Steam library is
yeah,
great because what
yeah.
Steam has that Nova's. Sorry, I've kind of half interrupted, but I'll let you get back
No,
to
no,
it.
no, let's go. Yeah,
Is
yeah, yeah.
indie developers. Steam has so many independent developers in their library, and Blue Frogs brought up a good point, saying developers dedicate time and effort, but there might not be enough market to make it worthwhile for big developers to make games for
Hmm,
Steam. But that's
yeah,
never what Steam's been about for me. It's about getting those
no.
indie developers known and then build up. Sorry, go on.
Yeah, I do agree with that, but I think obviously the massive thing as well is I think when it comes to the Steam Deck, it's really then minimizing the amount of effort that would then need to be put into a Steam Deck compared to a high-end gaming PC. So really, I think it might work out better because if they're having to hit the top end of the mark for handling high-end PCs and then going, right, we now need you to like whittle down some of the sort of software and coding to handle onto a Steam Deck, which then be like, okay, it won't be as effort. It might not take as much effort for a lot of developers. Now, obviously, I can't say that because I don't do game development, so I can't really say how it works for them. But I do feel that I think what it is they've learned from their mistake, or not so much mistake because it does work, is from the Steam Link because as you say, you when you want to play on your big old TV, you'll play on a console unless it's PC only. Now, obviously, a Steam Link kind of cuts that out where you can connect your Steam Link up to your TV and stream your Steam games to a high 4K TV or whatever it is that you want to play on and just sit and do a bit of couch co-op or just play on your sofa kind of thing. And I think the Steam Deck is Steam's way of hitting at Nintendo because Nintendo are the only market at the minute for handheld games. The PS
Yeah.
Vita is 6 feet under kind of thing. No one touches a PS Vita anymore. Xbox never really touched upon handhelds,
It's
really.
took them
Like that,
three consoles to get it right. When the Xbox first came out, it let's be honest, it failed. It cost them a lot of money.
yeah,
And I think Xbox
yeah,
have just got the right mix of the games
yeah.
library and cloud. Like Xbox are going to kill it on cloud gaming. It's as simple as
Oh
that.
yeah,
And
no,
they've got
yeah,
that market
definitely.
now.
Yeah. Yeah, so I think now for Steam, they've gone, well, we've captured the PC lot, but we only have the PC. We can't really like we've touched upon console where you can take your Steam library and put it onto a TV and treat it like a console. Now they want to tackle the handheld market. Now they want to tackle those that are out and about a lot. They can't take the time to sit down at their PC. They can't take the time to sort of spend 5 6 hours plus sat in for me right now in a very warm room playing on Steam. If they turn around with this Steam Deck and it is such a big success, I will probably look to get it because I know that if I just like because of all the acting work that I do, if I go away for 5 6 months doing acting work, if I've got a Steam
Mm.
Deck, I'll play on Steam. I've got my Steam library. I just have to install the games that I want to play whilst I'm away. But it's all there. I've already bought the games. I have them readily available, and I can just sit there and play on a Steam Deck the exact same games that I would on a PC.
What do you think of the looks of it? Because I'm a bit, like the
My
layouts,
only,
like the
the only thing is the
thumbsticks and the
touchpads.
D-pad.
Some
Yeah.
I think if they were to if they were to eliminate the touchpads and place the buttons and the directional pad where the touchpad would be, I think that would work out better for them. I appreciate where they're going with the touchpad because it's meant to almost act like a trackpad on a laptop.
Mm.
Um, but for me, it is very much sort of trying to do an analog stick to then touch sort of the button a few inches to my left or to my right, but I've got that like I use an Xbox controller when I play PC. So for me,
Mm.
the positioning of my thumbs to where they are isn't too different to where it is on a Steam Deck. But I just feel if you've got them right up there and then you're going there, I don't think that is
Mm.
atomically going to be comfortable. I don't think that's going to be comfortable for a lot of people.
Until I actually get our hands in it and play with it, it doesn't feel, I haven't seen the back of it yet, but I don't, it feels like it should have like some sort of grips underneath as well. So if you're gripping it from underneath, you then, like, even if you do
So
that with your hands as if you're holding it, your thumbs all of a
yeah,
sudden are stretched away, and like you go into the touchpad, so you're gonna have to hold
yeah,
it further down, and then you're gonna have top heavy
mm,
weight. It
yeah.
seems
So
very weird.
I've seen I believe it was IGN that did a video on this. They've
Mm.
treated the back similar to an Xbox Elite controller. So there are actually four prongs at the back of the Steam Deck that act similar to the ABXY of the Steam Deck, so you can map them to the back prongs.
Mm.
Um, and I believe they got the bumpers and the triggers that you would always find on any controller, Xbox, PlayStation, or Nintendo. So we've got that to worry about as well. But I think their way of sort of like if you find it uncomfortable to do the ABXY buttons, you can map them to the bottom um, prongs so that you can just be like boom, and then use your bottom fingers there to eliminate that need. But again, I do feel that I think it's one of those things for them that it's sort of a trackpad is that unnecessary thing that no one really asked for, but they just want to put it in there just to see what people think. And I
I
think
don't
again,
think
I
it's going to
don't
get
think
the
that's
casual gaming market though. Like, you people are,
no,
I don't think it's going to bring the console players to
no,
PC gaming. For example, I'm not interested in it at all. Maybe because I've got a PC. I'm not really a portable gamer type. I've got a Switch,
no.
but it always
Yeah,
plays on a big screen, and it's very rare I use it. It's more my other half and daughter that uses it.
yeah.
Um, but for me, Steam is not really been a big thing for me. Like I say, I'm more console. Like, you can see my Wii and everything
Hmm.
like that. Um,
Yeah.
what's the price? Is it going to compete with the Switch? I can't remember the actual
I
price.
I do remember the price. I believe it was between £499 to 550 or £650 for the top end.
Yeah,
Um,
so it's
now,
350 for 64 gig, 459 for 256 gig, and £569 for the 512 gig. So you are paying it more in all three
mhm,
cases than the
yeah,
Xbox Series X. You're paying the
yeah,
same as the PlayStation Digital for the low end version, and then the middle range is the same as the Series X and the PlayStation Disc, and then the
mhm,
512 is 570, which is more expensive than both. And for
yeah,
me, like, when the Nintendo Switch is £300 last I checked.
mhm,
Let me check. I don't want to misprice anything, give people wrong information.
mhm,
280 quid ish, roughly,
yeah,
for the Nintendo Switch. You'd have to be a very passionate PC player to want to do that on
mhm,
the move. And don't get me wrong, there's a lot of people that have already done the £4 pre-order, and that's great. I know a lot of people are very passionate about the PC gaming and being
mhm,
able to just sit in the living room playing the PC games.
yeah,
But for me, PC gaming is about the graphics, the experience, having the big screen,
yeah,
and you're losing part of that. The reason why Nintendo Switch works as portable, because let's be fair, a lot of Nintendo games are cartoon based. They're not based on realism, they're not based on
no,
graphics, which is what a lot of PC games rely on. Your shooters, your first person
mhm,
shooters, your graphics. You're not going to get the same experience playing on a handheld. I might be wrong. Please, people in the chat, if you're watching, if you think this is a great idea, let me know. Blue Frog is saying at that price, it's dead on arrival. and I think it's not going to get the market. Personally, I could be totally wrong. I'd love to be proven wrong. I like seeing companies succeed. Steam's
Yeah,
brilliant for games. The games
yeah.
library's brilliant.
I
But for
think
me, no.
Yeah, I think the biggest thing for a lot of people in terms of the pricing is mainly the storage, because as it says, the 512 gigabyte and the 256 gigabytes are offering as an NVMe SSD. Now, if you are quite tech savvy in your PC end, you'll get a SATA and an NVMe SSD. Now, a SATA is those little those little those little square
Your
storage
magnetic discs,
devices.
basically. Yeah.
Yeah. So, and then the NVMe is what I like to call the chocolate bar SSD, because it literally looks like a stick thin chocolate bar. And with that, that's giving you almost millisecond fast speeds on downloading and uploading, as well as how fast the game plays and loads for you. So I can appreciate that, yes, for a price like that, I do feel like they've kind of gone a bit too high for it. I feel if they brought it maybe down at least for the 512, because the 512 is the starting price, or is the starting storage for an Xbox Series S, and that I believe is at about £250,
I think it's
350.
300. I think it's about 300 for the
Three,
Series S.
yeah. So that's the 512 SATA drive rather than NVMe, although it could be NVMe. I'm not. Someone's
Two
gonna have to
hundred and
double
eighty
check that.
pounds for the Series S.
S. So you are then looking at double that just for the Steam Deck for the exact same storage. Now, if I look on my storage, I have an entire terabyte SSD just for my games, and I've already used. I've got 342 gigabyte free on that. So the amount of games, not just on Steam, but on other gaming services that I use that for, I feel like Steam, I would use the entirety of that just on the current Steam library that I have. And
And I
that
don't
isn't
think they're going
even,
to be doing cloud. I don't think cloud has been mentioned
they
yet.
aren't doing cloud, but they do have an SD drive. They do have an SD slot that you can use for the Steam Deck. So if you wanted to, you could purchase a 500 or even a terabyte SD card. I don't know if they go that high, um, and use an SD card, as you probably would do with a Switch, because you can use an SD card with a Switch, can't you? Or is that just cartridge?
It's just cartridge. That I
Just
can remember.
cartridge.
I think it's
Yeah,
just a cartridge.
yeah. So obviously, that Steam's way of saying, okay, yeah, we might not offer the most internal storage, but you can get your own SD cards, which obviously are a lot cheaper, and use that. Because I remember doing that with oh god, I want to say I even remember doing that with the old DS. Sort of like you used to do that with the old DSs and everything like that. So I do kind of agree with Blue Frog that I do feel the way that they've done that is that it's kind of dead on arrival because of the pricing. I think if they just lowered it just £100 on the high end, it might have a chance. Because
It's a tough one because obviously what they're
yeah,
offering, they need the power, but that doesn't come cheap when making it a handheld. But I think we need to move on. I'm just aware of the time as well.
yeah, no
But
worries.
I'm not sold on it. I'm sorry, Steam,
No,
but it's just not an interest to me at all. And I don't want to see it struggle, but I think it might.
yeah, no, definitely.
To just kind of finish off, because I was trying to keep these just about an hour. The next thing I wanted to talk about, linked to TV and gaming, because usually we focus on the TV, but it's been a very tech game heavy week. But talking about games and TV, The Last of Us has got a bit more information, and it sounded like they are spending about 10, 15 million per episode on this series. HBO are investing a lot of money into The Last of Us. Now, straight away you'd be thinking, well, why are they investing this much money into a game? But there is so much about this game. It has such a dedicated fan base. It has such a good story. A lot of people are thinking, yes, actually, this could work really well. And before I share my opinions on this, Josh, what were your thoughts on The Last of Us as a game, first of all?
I always love The Last of Us. I was never a PlayStation player. So when it came out on the PS3, then on the PS4, and I think again now on the PS5, I only have a PS4, and playing it on the PS4, I love that kind of story element because it feels like a movie. It feels like a TV series that you're just playing, kind of thing. You control the character, but you're so more invested in the story than you are with the gameplay that I just loved. I loved the whole 9 yards with Joel, with Ellie, the whole focus on The Last of Us 2 now being focused on Ellie and everything like that. I absolutely was head over heels with The Last of Us once I got into it.
I hate when it happens. I knew I forgot to push something because I was just pulling up the figures because I don't like misquoting. But yeah, they are spending roughly 8 figures. They haven't said the exact amount, but they are spending 8 figures per episode. Now that could mean they could be spending about 60-70 million per episode. This isn't cash salaries. This is on effects. This is obviously on scenes because the scenery of the game is going to be amazing. Like, they've got to pull off the cityscapes, they've got to make it look like it's been abandoned. That is not going to be cheap. Now, I've only played the first game for a few hours, and there is a reason for this. Because I played up to the titles, and after what happens at the start, I don't want to say it in case people haven't played the games, but involves Joel and his daughter, let's just say. Once it got to the credits, that was it, I was done. I just couldn't, I'm a dad. I have a daughter of about the same age, and my daughter looked exactly the same as the character of Joel's daughter, and I just had to stop at that point. I just couldn't continue at all after that. I was just like, nope. Don't get us wrong. Brilliant games. I know the story. I know what happens in both. I've read the story of it rather than played it. I may give it a chance again. Troy Baker is the voice of Joel. So obviously I've talked to him about the game many times, and he's told me off for not playing it. So I actually played it. Got the title screens and went, F you, Troy. In my head I was like, F you, Troy, for making me play this. This is no good. I will get round to it. I think I've still got my save on the PlayStation where it's after the titles, so I can jump back into it. But I was like, no. No. But if that's I'll be able to watch the TV show, I think.
Yeah.
But if the story from the game is anything like what's going into the TV show, and then investing this amount of money in, it's actually making me really confident we can actually have a true top quality game to TV adaptation. And I know a lot of games to TV, a lot of games to movies end up failing. And because people play the games, they get invested in the games because they are the character, and that's where it falls flat. But HBO have a good track record, other than the final season of Game of Thrones, but a good track record of doing top quality TV shows. One of my favourite TV shows ever is HBO, which is The Newsroom. And I'm confident HBO can pull this off. They're obviously investing a lot of money. You've got Pedro Pascal, and you've got something Bolton, and I forgot her name. I do apologise. But I'm going to look it up. But those are some quality actors straight away. Bella Ramsey, not Bolton. I'm thinking of Game of Thrones. Bella Ramsey it's Bolton Ramsey in Game of Thrones. That's where I'm getting it confused. But Bella Ramsey is Ellie. They've just announced that the voice actor of Tommy from the game is going to be in it, but not as Tommy. It's going to be Gabriel Luna, who was playing Tommy. You may know him as Ghost Rider in Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., and he was in the Terminator films as well. But do you think HBO can pull off a good game to TV adaptation? And this goes out to the comments as well. Please let me know in the comments.
Yes, definitely. I'll be very honest and say as well, I never got into Game of Thrones. Like, I'm sure the pitchforks are raised, the fires have been lit against me because I haven't watched Game of Thrones, but I never had the opportunity to do so growing up. So I have never really seen. Apologies. I've never really been able to see fully what. I'm gonna have to shut that window in a minute. I am so sorry.
It's cool. It's cool. My dog's been barking downstairs.
Yeah, I've never seen fully what HBO has offered, but I have been able to see snippets from Game of Thrones and a few other things that HBO have created, and I am fully invested in this. I think especially having someone like Pedro Pascal as Joel, after seeing how amazing he was in The Mandalorian, he's really set the bar quite high for himself. In that he has proven to us that he can play this sort of broody, protective father figure kind of thing. We've seen that in The Mandalorian, so I do feel that we are going to be able to see this in The Last of Us. I do agree that it's very difficult to try and adapt video games to movies and TVs because we are the one in the driver's seat. We are the one that are, whilst the story is written out for us, a lot of it is we get to almost have a choice in where the story goes and how fast it goes as well. If we want to take our time with it, we'll take our time with it. It's why when you look at companies before they went sort of under and everything like that, like Telltale in the Walking Dead series, like they did so well in creating such an incredible game because we had that choice. We were the ones in control. So I do understand where a lot of people are coming from when it comes to The Last of Us, is that we don't get that much of a choice in where it goes. But because, as you say, HBO are taking their time. They are doing their research into The Last of Us lore, the story of it all, and I am intrigued into how they're going to section it out episodically.
And Bella Ramsey as well, little kick-ass from Game of Thrones, has proven that she has the attitude and mentality to pull off a great Ellie. We've got in the chat saying HBO have an amazing track record. Thanks, Frog. It's true. I think HBO know what they're doing with these big, expansive universe, like storytelling shows. That's what people go to HBO for. They are good at storytelling, hands down. And I'm confident they can do this. Hopefully, we'll see a great TV series. And to just finish off, because I want to just briefly bring it up, because we did talk about it in the midweek podcast, but talking about great TV shows, I absolutely adore and loved Loki. So Josh, just quick thoughts, because I know I'm taking up a lot of your time and a lot of people watching's time as well and listening. What were your thoughts on Loki, the MCU breaking TV show?
Like, I was speechless through that entire final episode. I remember saying to you before we started, I marathoned the entirety of Loki up until the final episode and just went from start to finish. So everything was fresh in my mind, and oh my god, I cannot wait to see what the MCU is now going to offer us in what has just happened. Obviously, I don't want to say any spoilers for anyone that hasn't yet seen it, but go and watch it. If you want to have your mind blown with everything that's been going on within the MCU and what they've touched upon in in series like WandaVision and Falcon and the Winter Soldier slightly, you will love Loki. I mean, I love Tom Hiddleston anyway. He is an absolute amazing man. He is gorgeous. I will say this. He is
I knew you were going to
gorgeous.
throw that in. I just knew you would
I
throw in.
I had to. He's just, he's so
Someone
beautiful.
get this man a towel. I think he needs it.
No, like, oh, it's just a hair flick. It's every time it's just like that. Oh, hair flick.
Someone
It's
actually
like,
put on Twitter a cut of all of the hair flicks of Loki. That's worth checking out. See, for me, Sylvie was just amazing. Absolutely loved Sophia DiMatteo as Sylvie. Great. And I thought it was a brilliant introduction to the actor Jonathan Majors as the potential Kang in the future. Not He Who Remains, that isn't Kang, but his next... Even though he's meant to be down as Ant-Man, it wouldn't put it past me to see him in the Doctor Strange film and possibly Spider-Man as well. I think they might sneak him in, because they snuck him into this, so who's to say that they won't sneak him into some of the others as well? Honestly, I just think Loki was fun.
I think my only, I think my only thing, and I think just from my kind of community and representation is, it felt weird with what happened between Loki and Sylvia at some point, because that was just, again, I don't want to say anything without revealing spoilers, but it felt
go for it.
Bit...
It's been a week. Talk spoilers.
Fine. It's the kiss, to be fair, because it just feels weird, because if you consider the fact that they are technically the same person, it's like watching share stream. It's like watching someone try and kiss themselves.
There's nothing wrong with kissing yourself, all right? I have some lonely nights. But do you know what the thing is? I didn't see the kind of kiss as romantic as such. I think it was they have a mutual appreciation for each other, and it was kind of just a goodbye, I do care for you, kind of, because it wasn't romantic, like tongues wagging sort of thing. It was a kind of, I'm going to miss you, I've got to do this, mwah, bye, be gone. Kind of, but yeah, I don't mind that kind of relationship with them, because technically they are two different people in a sense. They are just Lokis.
But I think that's the thing, is they're the same person. They're just different, as it said in the show. They're just different variants of the same person. So it's just it does feel a bit weird in that sort of narcissistic way of you're basically falling in love with yourself kind of thing.
Yeah, well, they say you've got to look after yourself and you've got to look after your mental well-being, so what's wrong with loving yourself every so often? And to finish on that sick note as well, Blue Frog has said, if you like Tom Hiddleston in tight office wear, check out High Rise. Just saying. So there you go. If you're a Tom Hiddleston fan, that's the one to watch. Josh, I'm guessing, has already seen it and nodding away there. Yeah, so...
Yep.
And let's just say, Josh, I think you should go outside and use a cold hose, because it's hot outside. Yeah,
it is very hot.
Yeah, that's the reason. If Josh goes for a cold shower, it's because it's really hot.
I'll cool off.
Yeah. But no, thank you so much, Josh, for joining. If anybody listening or watching wants to find you, where can they find you on social media and things like that?
So my main social media is on Twitch under the same name, Cosvlogs. I stream Minecraft and Dead by Daylight. I am reopening my YouTube channels and uploading the VODs from my streams onto YouTube, as well as a few sort of specific videos. My latest video is about the Sneak energy drink. I'm also on TikTok under Cosvlogs TTV as well. I upload funny little Twitch skits. So basically, the whole thing with me, as I'm sure you've guessed, if you like rainbows and you are part of the LGBT community, you'll love what I do. My community is very supportive of one another. I've been lucky enough that we've had some of my members here today, of sort of Ash, Powerlace, Magpie, and Cal. So obviously it's lovely to see them hopping by and supporting not only me but you as well. So yeah, if you want to just have a laugh, have some fun, and have a safe space, then definitely come and check me out.
Yeah, awesome. Please do that, guys. I'd really appreciate it. I don't have as many rainbows. I just like blue. I'm going Sonic
Yep.
Blue all the way. So I'm stealing the blue from your rainbow. I'm sorry, it's mine now.
That's
But
fine. You can have it. You can have it.
yay! But thank you everyone for joining. Thank you everyone in the comments as well. Really appreciate all the support. So feel free to drop a follow. We do these podcasts every Sunday. I just randomly stream. Usually I stream horror games like Phasmophobia on Spoiler TV's YouTube or on this Twitch channel, or you can just listen to the podcast if you listen via everything single audio podcast that's out there. But thank you, Josh. Thank you for everyone, and hopefully we'll be back again very soon to do this again. But for now, thanks for watching. See you all soon.
Bye.
Bye 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 bye. There you go. I said bye about 4 times.